Robots ready.
Start your motor! Let's Robotica out!
Get ready!
Let's do it! Welcome to Robotica, the show they're all talking about around the water cooler at MIT. I'm Ahmed Zappa, and sitting next to me is my dear friend and companion in the robot combat business, Jav Man.
Thanks, Ahmed. And from here, we're going to continue our search for the greatest robot competitors from around the world. As always, the bot with the best combination of speed, strength, and strategy takes home the top Robotica honors and a gold medal.
And that medal is your ticket to the Robotica finals and a shot at the trophy. Everyone else, well, they just go home. To claim the prize, they'll have to tear up the Gauntlet, a speedway that knocks robots down to size. Conquer the Labyrinth, a dizzying maze with robot traps at every turn, and withstand the fight to the finish, an all-out war where only one can survive. Enough idle banter. Let's meet our first victims, or, competitors, I will say. Now entering the arena, faster than a speeding bulldozer, able to lift tall robots with a single plow, it's Whyatica! This 199-pound robot employs a familiar triangle plow weapon, but with a lip for scooping and lifting. Its four-wheel drive is powered by a set of two 12-horsepower brakes and Stratton motors. This ain't your mama's plow, baby. Whyatica can cruise at up to 40 miles an hour.
And Whyatica's mastermind is Terry Ewert.
Whyatica from Team Whyachi, 24 horsepower, titanium B-plow, very difficult to beat.
Life in quiet Dorchester, Wisconsin was a little slow. That is until Terry Ewert came to town. He's turned his manufacturing shop, which usually makes food processing equipment for the meat industry, into a robot assembly line.
Many of the traits and capabilities that we use in design and manufacture of those special machines are used in building robots.
Some of Terry's employees were paid to work on Whyatica, but here's his core group of builders, Team Whyachi. A close-knit gang. They are robot building veterans.
We have a pretty good advantage because of our knowledge of the engineering part of it and the electrical part of it and the manufacturing.
There's no hidden weapon on this fighting machine. Front and center is a menacing titanium V-plow.
We can lift this up to about 8 inches off the floor or back down in a few seconds.
And this isn't just your average armor. The V-plow and the entire body are made of super strength grade 5 titanium. But plowing ability is nothing without power. And with its two 12-horsepower motors, Whyatica can take on the open field in competition.
It does have a ton of power. We have, like I say, we have 24 horse, and we can pretty much squeal the tires at any time. It's still a handful to drive, though.
With Whyatica's high-tech materials and dangerous front end, you'd think that Terry would be brimming with confidence. But this seasoned builder knows that anything can happen in the heat of battle.
Our chances are 1 in 24, just like everybody else.
And his opponent, scurry back to your foxhole, robot soldier, or he will tread on you. He doesn't just look like a tank, he's armored like one as well. It's Jav Man! Jav Man's treads are made from the purest grade 5 titanium, and the bot's shell is capped by a 1/4 inch Spectra bulletproof top. The treads have 60 square inches of rubber gripping the floor, and its 208 pounds, driven by more than 9 horsepower, give this machine some nasty pushing power.
And Jav Man's commander-in-chief is Ferree.
Got one thing to say to everyone with your high-tech weapons. Kiss my tracks.
For Greg, robot building is a lot like real estate. It's all about location, location, location. Greg lives near Meadville, Pennsylvania, also known as Tool City, USA.
There's about 150 tool and die shops.
Greg's job is to repair the machines that keep the town running. So no matter what his robot requires, he has access to the best parts, made of the best materials by the best mechanics in the nation. One of Greg's biggest coups was getting the custom parts he needed to make this. Jav Man's formidable tank-style track system.
They were fabricated using titanium cleats that are structural riveted and epoxied on, and then there are rubber cleats that are bonded to the titanium.
With the help of his brother Lee, Greg assembled the cleats into treads. This design makes Jav Man able to overcome any obstacle, even enemy robots.
There's about 60 square inches of track that's on the ground, and as long as we can keep that on the ground, we should have real good biting power.
To take the bite out of his competitors, Greg armored his bot with a multi-layered material that makes Kevlar seem as tough as wax paper. It's called Spectra Shield.
It is a very punch-resistant material.
How resistant? Just ask Greg's wife, Dee. She put it to the test with a 9mm bullet.
There it is. 88 layers of Spectra, 9mm round, trapped in the material.
With access to all these amazing tools and materials, Greg is counting on his penchant for overkill to make Jav Man the bot to beat. And on top of that, Greg admits he has his pride at stake.
Probably my main thing I want to make sure is that I don't get beat by a lawnmower.
Strong words, but we'll see how strong they are once they've run the Gauntlet. 36 square feet of robot-destroying mayhem. Don't worry, you're safe at home. If you were any closer, I'd recommend some safety goggles. It goes like this. Two bots start here, then drive around the course in opposite directions. Along the way, they must smash through 4 increasingly difficult walls made of wood, cans, bricks, and finally, cement blocks. 10 points are awarded for each obstacle cleared. But it doesn't stop there. Oh, no. They got to get past each other, then travel down the opposite side of the track, heading back to the starting line. They score 5 points for each rubble pile pass. The first bot to make it up the ramp to the center arena gets 10 points. The second gets 5. Break all the glass, and the final wall slides down, bust through it, and 15 points are yours.
Well, let's go down to our science correspondent, robot expert Dan Danknick. Dan, when it comes to the Gauntlet, what can we expect from these two droids?
Thanks, Tanya. One of the cool things about the Gauntlet is that in addition to power, robots need to have a driver who's quick on the trigger. Battle Zone 2 is the first time drivers are going to have to make a decision. If they see their opponent blowing through the Gauntlet, they're going to have to use the Battle Zone to slow them down, or better yet, disable them. Look for the slower robot to make a charge at his opponent here. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. And now Terry Ewert and Whyatica will be racing up the left side of the track, while Greg Ferree and Jav Man will be attacking the right. The robots are in position. The Gauntlet is ready. Let's go.
Robots ready.
And they're off. Jav Man climbing on top of those cans. Oh, the Wedge under his plow. Fighting free. Looks like he's off. Whyatica hard into the rail in the first turn.
Amit, that's a huge burst of speed. He's totally out of control in this tight course.
But he's still moving forward, Dan. There's a great shot from the Whyatica cam going through the can. Check. Jav Man at the first turn. He's through the bricks and the blocks. He's at the halfway point. Whyatica trying to keep pace. He's at the bricks. Oh, the camera goes haywire. Knocked out of commission there. And he's at the block and meets Jav Man on the other side. Confrontation. Whyatica punches through. I think he'll get credit for the wall. Oh, but he slips past Jav Man, not in the fighting mood. Jav Man heading down the back stretch. Looks like he's having some traction trouble. Whyatica turns sideways. Looks like he always gonna flip over. Out!
Amit, Whyatica's speed came back to haunt him. He was out of control and caught a bad bounce there.
So in other words, he flipped over like we saw.
Exactly.
Jav Man pushing the debris.
It's unusual for a tank-designed robot to have a plow, and it did get him caught on the paint cans earlier, but now it's working like it should, clearing a path.
Hail Zeus! Jav Man's up the ramp and breaking the glass. He's got time, baby. Both of these robots were so fast getting around the track, the clock is no longer effective. Jav Man just needs to stay on the platform. Oh, the glass floor is getting obliterated. Dan, does Whyatica even have a shot of getting back in this thing?
Not a chance, Amit. He's not bimodal, and he doesn't have a riding mechanism. Terry Ewert knows it's all over.
Jav Man, 4 panes to go. Greg Ferree is looking to lock up the last 15 points. He's being very careful. 2 panes now. 1 to go. There it is, baby! And here comes the bonus pane. Greg Ferree gets Jav Man into position. Oops, off target there. Take 2, and yeah! Jav Man wins the Gauntlet. Greg Ferree, he is ecstatic. Look at him. An impressive performance.
Whyatica had such extreme speed that when his back tire touched the rail, it literally climbed it, fast enough to flip him over. Jav Man, opting for control over speed, was able to confidently clean up.
And Jav Man takes it. Score there, it's Jav Man with 85 points over Whyatica with 45. Tanya's down with Greg Ferree. Tanya?
Okay, here we have Greg and his team representing the Jav Man. All right. So, you guys were a little bit slow at first. Were you a little afraid?
A little afraid, quite nervous. We knew we were against an excellent robot and an excellent driver, so we knew we needed luck.
That's right. And you have a titanium-style track system with your bot, too, don't you?
Correct. Basically, the whole bot is custom-made. There's very few off-the-shelf purchase parts on that.
What was your strategy going into the Gauntlet?
Just try to keep it under control because it is so quick, so powerful. It can get away from me in a blink of an eye.
Okay, what about the confrontation with the opponent? Were you nervous?
No, actually, I was hoping to be able to get a side shot on him because, once again, power. Just whack 'em, whack 'em, whack 'em.
But you kind of ended up going around him. You didn't really...
He got around me, so
okay,
it's like,
he got around you.
I can't go chase him.
At what point did you realize that your opponent was flipped over, and how did that change your strategy?
My crew member was keeping an eye on that, Tim. And as we were going around, he goes, take it easy, he's upside down, take it easy, you got it, you got it. So I was just letting that little birdie in my ear talk to me, so it's like, let's just settle down and break glass.
Okay, well, what is ahead in the Labyrinth?
Configuration change on each one of the events. There's different front ends that go on it. We've got a piece that sticks up so we can break the glass on it.
Okay.
So each individual event had its own little design feature to it.
Good luck in the next round.
Thank you, bud.
All right, woo, Jav Man!
Coming up, Deb Bot and InTriVerter test their mettle in the Gauntlet. Then later, its list of victims grows larger every week. The deadly Labyrinth plays duty once again. Robots never say die. Robotica. Welcome back to Robotica. Earlier, the Gauntlet saw Whyatica throw himself for a loop, while Jav Man dismantled the course with military precision. But the Gauntlet still has a thing or two to say. Let's meet our next set of competitors. Now, entering the arena, who wants some of this, huh? All-out speed and ferocious power, even when it's standing on its head. It's InTriVerter. Tipping the scales at over 200 pounds, this bot lives up to its name with upside-down driving capabilities. The three-wheel design is powered by a huge 18-horsepower brakes and Stratton motor, which can crank this baby past 30 miles per hour. Put all that power behind InTriVerter's leading spike, and you've got a skewer that none can oppose.
And InTriVerter's designer is Ted Shimoda.
The robot's InTriVerter. It's got two 5-horsepower motors. It's powerful enough to pull a half-ton truck uphill.
Most people think of lawn mowing as a chore, but for Ted, it's inspiration. Ted manages the family lawnmower business, and thanks to his degree in robotics, he's created some amazing hybrids. Look familiar? This used to be a lawnmower, and now it's a gas-powered robot.
Gas power has its potentials. To control that power through a transmission is very difficult.
That's why Ted decided he and his teammate Rich Blom should stop being gas hogs and go electric.
We really wanted to, prove our engineering prowess and go for something that's never been done before.
Thus, InTriVerter was born. And for Ted, this electric-powered bot was a revelation.
It's like 10 times faster than a lawnmower, and it's around 10 times stronger, too.
Faster and stronger because it's driven by a pair of powerful E-Tech golf cart motors.
The motor has 8 horsepower continuous, 15 horsepower peak, and they can operate up to a minute close to 300 amps.
Not only does InTriVerter have enough torque to take Ted for a ride, it can also pull a full-size pickup. But what really makes InTriVerter the bot to beat is the feature that gave it its name. It can run right side up and upside down.
It's symmetrical. It's got the same ground clearance that's on the top and the bottom.
4.5 inches of clearance to be exact, making InTriVerter nimble enough to run circles around and above other bots.
In the right situation, if we go up against a wedge, we can ride right on top of him and get a foot to 2 feet of air.
Enough air for a robotic body slam.
It's like a sumo wrestling. The heavier guy with the stronger power is the one that's going to win.
While his gas-powered robots are mowing the lawns, Ted is counting on supercharged InTriVerter to mow down the competition.
And his opponent, she may look bite-sized, but you could end up eating her dust. Quick and agile, she proves good things do come in small packages. Give a round of applause for Deb Bot. Weighing in at a mere 91 pounds, Deb Bot's Astroflight 90 engine's totaling 2 horsepower are more than enough to blaze her up to 15 miles an hour. But don't get the idea that you can push this bot around. That lifting arm of hers can flip a 250-pound bully on his dome.
And Deb Bot's better half is Jeff Vasquez.
We're Team Fast Electric Robots. Our robot is Deb Bot. We're light, we're fast, we're powerful, and that's why we're going to win.
Jeff Vasquez lives for racing boats at breakneck speeds. Residing in the quiet suburb of Oak Park, California, Jeff is one of the nation's premier radio-controlled speedboat racers.
For the last several years, every year I've been ranked in the top 3.
His hunger to win has garnered him an incredible 15 national championships. But lately, Jeff has been consumed by a new passion, robot combat. And Jeff hasn't built Deb Bot alone. Oh no.
My son Matt is 3 years old and he just loves robots.
I need another teeny when that one is yours.
While most Robotica contestants push the 210-pound weight limit, Jeff's strategy is to make Deb Bot light on her wheels for better speed and agility. Designed to drive circles around her opponents, Deb Bot weighs in at well under 100 pounds. Jeff used a bunch of parts from RC vehicles and built a robot.
These motors are Astroflight Cobalt 90 motors. They have a built-in 3-to-1 gearbox. They're extremely strong, extremely quick, very durable motors.
The average robot motor weighs 13 pounds, but Deb Bot's 2 electric airplane motors weigh just over 1 pound each and still put out 2 horsepower combined. The motors are powered by 24 RC 2400 NiCad batteries. Lighter than common gel cell batteries, these NiCads have been souped up for high performance in RC speedboats.
My robot is very quick and very fast. It can go in excess of 20 miles an hour. It's got extreme acceleration and extreme pushing power.
If that's not enough to beat the big boys, Deb Bot can always unleash her mighty lifting arm.
Very strong. It could flip any robot that it comes against.
If everything goes his way, Jeff may end up putting Deb Bot in the winner's circle. But to do that, he'll have to beat this next sinister challenge. Once again, it's time for the Gauntlet. 4 walls, 4 rubble piles, a forest of glass, and 85 points make a perfect score. In this Gauntlet, Ted Shimoda and InTriVerter will be 3-wheeling up the left side of the track, while Jeff Vasquez's Deb Bot will be sashaying up the right. Everyone's in position, and it's Gauntlet time.
Robots ready.
Here we go. Deb Bot through the wood and the cans, no problem. InTriVerter ricochets off the wall at the first turn. He pounds through the bricks and the blocks already at the halfway point. And Deb Bot at the halfway point, and she scoots right past InTriVerter, not looking for a fight with the bigger robot. Deb Bot stacking up a ton of debris.
Amit, she needs to find a break in the rubble to slip through. Her motors are strong enough to push that pile, but she's geared for speed, and what she needs here is torque. She's not set up for it.
InTriVerter still bogged down. Ted Shimoda's doing everything he can to get his bot free, trying to shake loose. And Deb Bot found that path then. She's through and heading towards the starting area.
Jeff had some ground clearance concerns about getting up that ramp, Amit.
InTriVerter's fighting with those bricks. Ted Shimoda's losing ground. InTriVerter breaking free. He backs up. Oh my goodness! You see they just flew. What an awesome way to clear debris.
She's hitting it at an angle to avoid getting high center.
And Deb Bot's on the platform. She's busted down that forest of glass. Oh, and almost up the edge there. You see that?
Yeah, she's skidding on that platform, Amit, with all that speed.
And now InTriVerter's on the platform. Here we go. Is the platform big enough for the 2 of them? They're both trashing the glass. No strategy that I can see. Deb Bot gives InTriVerter a shot there. Nicely done. Oh, InTriVerter sneaks over to the bonus pane while Deb Bot breaks the last glass. But he moves away, and now Deb Bot cuts in. InTriVerter backs away off the platform, and Deb Bot takes the bonus pane. What a great battle. That was awesome. Jeff Vasquez is pumped. high-fives his teammate, an exciting finish, and incredible competition.
Amit, this one came down to control, and Deb Bot proved to have more. InTriVerter had position on the final pane, but gave it up as he fell off, allowing Deb Bot to get the win.
Winning is cool, but this is cool. Jumping is sweet. And Deb Bot takes it. It's Deb Bot with 85 over InTriVerter with 65. Let's go down to the floor where Tanya is standing with Jeff Vasquez. Tanya?
Okay, congratulations, guys. Here we have Jeff with Deb Bot. Now, Jeff, great round of competition. Now, in the last section there, you hit the last pane of glass, but then your opponent there got in the way. What was going on there?
He's bigger than I am, and, you know, it's kind of tight quarters up there, and I just did the best I could to get around him and position myself to take out the big pane of glass. I was lucky to get through there. He's tough.
Your first attempt at breaking the final pane, you didn't get to do that.
No, I hit the sides. It was very tough to judge exactly how to get the angle I needed to get through to break the glass, but then I eventually found my way through.
Now, tell us about the ramp. Were you worried about clearing it because your robot is so low?
Absolutely. That's my main concern in this competition is the fact that my robot has very low ground clearance, and I thought I might get high-sided on the ramp, which really worried me, but I just floored it, and I managed to fly up the ramp pretty easily, so I was happy about that.
Okay, so talk about how you designed your robot for Robotica and your strategy behind it in this round of competition.
My robot is easily 100 pounds lighter than any of the other robots in this competition, and it's very quick, it's very powerful for its size, and the one disadvantage I have is that it has very low ground clearance.
Right.
But I can get under other robots, so when it comes to doing head-to-head battle, I think I'll have an advantage there against most of the robots that I've seen so far. I hope that works out like that. That was my strategy.
All right, well, anything exciting in store for us that Deb has to offer in the next round in the Labyrinth?
Deb is we're gonna use modify it a little bit to try to get over the speed bumps and some of the other hazards, and hopefully it'll work. I'm just gonna rely on my strengths, which is mainly speed.
All right. All right, Jeff, well, great round, and we look forward to seeing you in the next. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Deb Bot, all the way.
It's Jav Man leading Whyatica 85-45, while Deb Bot leads InTriVerter 85-65. I've seen enough to know that I want to see more, and it's a good thing because we've got more Robotica when we come back. Stay with us. Coming up, Whyatica and Jav Man duke it out in the Labyrinth, and later, the only way to win is to send the other guy flying. It's all happening right here on Robotica in a moment. Robotica is back, just like we promised. We would never let you down.
Okay, here's how the scores stand so far. It's Jav Man leading Whyatica 85-45, while Deb Bot leads InTriVerter 85-65.
But now, let's go down to the pits and our science correspondent, Dan Danknick.
Thanks, Amit. Let's check out Jav Man. Guys, very powerful out there, but what's under the hood? Well, you have some unexposed circuit boards here. I've built a lot of robots and usually cover this sort of thing up. What's the story?
Well, on the events that we feel that we need that extra protection, besides the titanium piece that we just taken off, we've got this Spectra shield, which is the same material that they use for police shields in the riot gear.
Oh, that sounds very good. So you tailor your robot to the event you're going to be in?
Correct. Yeah, each one of the events I've got a little different configuration, save it from what we're going to meet.
Now, just real quick, about how powerful is this robot?
There's about a total of 9 horsepower.
9 horsepower. That's a lot.
Yeah, not too bad.
But if you want to see some real power, let's jet over and check out Whyatica. 24 horsepower total in this baby. Terry, put down the duct tape. Show us what's underneath the hood.
Hey, Dan.
So these are the drive motors right here.
Big ones. Huge.
These are pancake motors, giant copper commutators on them, 8 brushes. How many amps do these babies pull?
300 amps we can run through. We're only running that 220 though through the Gauntlet.
300 amps. But I've got to ask you, what good is power without control?
Not very good, that's for sure. We're working on that control aspect.
All right, so you're going to do a little bit of tuning, and you'll be ready for the Labyrinth.
I sure hope so.
Great. Well, that's it from the pit, Amit. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. And to separate the men from the boys, we've devised a little challenge called the Labyrinth. And it goes a little something like this. Our mechanical Theseuses will begin the Labyrinth in the center. They race out to shatter 6 panes of glass, but each pane is guarded by a challenge that's sure to send your department store robot running back to the toy aisle. At the bottom of the point barrel, 15 points apiece will be awarded for navigating past the 253-pound box or the field of stabbing spikes. Next, if you can pass this suspension bridge before it sends you packing or beat this pneumatic flip ramp before you're kissing sky, 20 points belong to you. But life ain't no beach if you get your bot stuck in this sand pit, and stepping on these cargo rollers means you're going nowhere fast. Get to the glass behind these guys, and you get 25 points to take home to mama. Once all 6 walls are gone, these gates will unlock, and the bot that bashes the glass will pick up another 30 points.
And some added danger comes in the form of our Robotica rats. These bud-saw-toting rodents will do everything they can to keep the bots from reaching their goal to protect all of the humans in the room. We've installed these Lexan walls for our safety.
We like to keep things light here at Robotica, don't you think?
Let's go down to Dan Danknick, who's standing by the Labyrinth. Dan, who has the advantage in this event?
Tanya, the secret to the Labyrinth is control, and it's never more important than at the flip ramp. If you can't drive in a straight line during that brief moment when the ramp is down, you're going to go flying. Whyatica is so fast, he's hard to control. He was bouncing off the walls of the Gauntlet, but if he does that in the Labyrinth, he'll end up on his back once again. But Jav Man has proven driving skill, and he should be able to stay out of trouble. Back to you.
Thank you, Dan the Man. Greg Ferree's Jav Man is driving in on the left, and Terry Ewert's Whyatica is rolling in on the right. That sound means everyone's in place. Let's do what we came here to do.
Robots ready.
And the Labyrinth is underway. Whyatica goes right after Jav Man, and Jav Man sticking in the corner now. Oh, smashed by the turntable. He pulls free. Nice. Whyatica's racing that Plow, and Jav Man right on top of Whyatica. We've got a mighty battle going on right on the turntable. Whyatica is not moving now. Jav Man trying to climb over. Can't seem to get out. There's a shot from the Whyatica cam, and Jav Man spins his treads against that Plow.
Amit, Jav Man doesn't want to throw any treads here, or that will handicap him for the rest of the competition.
Jav Man is finally out of the turntable, and Whyatica not moving at all. Jav Man is going after the spikes. He takes his time, lines it up. Oh, not quite over, and lifted from behind. He's down now, but not moving. All right, now he's off. Jav Man looking for the 15. He's got it. And Whyatica still dead on the turntable. This is sad.
Very. He's got to get moving. Terry Ewert had a disappointing run in the Gauntlet. He needs to make up some points here, but an electrical burnout is one of those things that can't be fixed from the sidelines.
Jav Man nicked by the spikes again, trying to get back out. Oh, and impaled again. I love that. Lifted completely, no damage though. He's up. Big Ferree. Where to go next? Look like it's going to be the suspension bridge. Easily across. Some steering problems. Can't get to the glass. There he's got it. 20 points for Jav Man. 2 obstacles down. Now the rats are on the loose, and Whyatica's just a sitting robot.
Terry is shaking his head, Amit. He's tried everything. He knows he's beat.
He's just blocking the lane. Just another obstacle on the course. Jav Man back across the suspension bridge. And the gray rat comes after him, pokes him to the side. Oh, he's turning that buzzsaw around. Bill comes back at him nose to nose. Jav Man fights him off. And he's easily through the saloon doors. And there's a buzzsaw going after Whyatica's tires. The red rat just getting nasty. Jav Man's making his way over the speed bump. He's having some trouble now. He's stuck.
Amit, the beauty of the tread design is that part of your driving mechanism is always in contact with the ground. You should be able to clear these.
And clear them he does, Dan. The gray rat's going after Jav Man, though. Those evil rats. Jav Man's got some options. He avoids the flip ramp, and he's going for the box.
Amit, he's playing it safe here. The flip ramp is too dangerous for him. Because of that glass breaker, he's no longer by Modal. He wouldn't be able to right himself.
At the box, having no trouble whatsoever pushing that bad boy aside, and the red rat's going after it. Jav Man tries to fight him off. Rat getting in his way. Jav Man having a lot of trouble there. Those 15 points are just waiting for him. Can he line up the shot? And he does! There it is. 3 obstacles down. The red rat's blocked him, though. The rat retreats, and Jav Man's back out.
Whyatica has not moved since the opening seconds of the game, Amit, and Jav Man, who already had the lead after the Gauntlet, is playing it smart and safe. He's avoiding the obstacles that could damage his robot before the fight to the finish.
Talk about safe. It looks like he's done. He's at the exit gate, and now he's just waiting Whyatica, nothing doing. Greg Ferree, good strategy. He knows he's got the Labyrinth won. And there's the siren. All he's got to do is get through those gates to end this game. Can he do it? Lining up. He gets the gates down. Easy picking down. And he does it. Jav Man has beaten the Labyrinth and beaten Whyatica. Greg Ferree putting on the show.
Whyatica's sudden and complete failure opened the door for Jav Man, and Greg Ferree knew he didn't have to sweep this course. He just had to come through it unscathed.
And Jav Man takes it again. Yes! Score there. It's Jav Man with 80 points over Whyatica with 0. Let's go down to Tanya with the winner.
Okay, here we have Greg Ferree with the Jav Man. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, pretty good. For all those armchair robot drivers, this is tough. I know last season that's what I was, and it's like, wow, that is hard to keep these things under control.
What was your strategy going into this?
Just try to get some points and just try to counter whatever he did. We were going to try to just do the opposite to him.
Any changes for the final battle?
Oh, yes.
The fight to the finish?
Yes, we have to put our, the Minimus Weaponus on.
The Minimus Weaponus on. Is that a minimal weaponin?
Yes, it is a minimal weapon.
All right, well, congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
With Jav Man.
Here are the scores. Jav Man beats Whyatica 165-45, and with the Labyrinth still to come, Deb Bot is leading InTriVerter 85-65. We've got our first challenger in the fight to the finish. You want to see who's going to battle? Huh? Stick around and find out. Robotica is coming at you. Up next, Deb Bot and InTriVerter risk it all in the Labyrinth. Who will move on and who will move home? Find out after this. And later, the fight to the finish. Enough said. Robotica rules. Robotica is in your living room, and there's nothing you can do about it. I know. It's Deb Bot with 85 points over InTriVerter with 65.
Whoever wins tonight's competition will move on to the finals at the end of the season.
Now, Dan Danknick is in the pits right now with InTriVerter and Deb Bot. Let's check in on him.
Thanks, Amit. Hey, we're here with Deb Bot and Jeff Vasquez. Now, Jeff uses an electric airplane motor. Tell us a little bit about this guy right here, Jeff.
This is an Astroflight Cobalt motor. It is a 36-cell motor that I'm running on 24 cells. It's got a 3-to-1 gear ratio reduction, which is right here where the sprockets are, is actually where you would put the prop.
So what you're using is actually a gearbox and a chain reduction, 2 stages.
Yes.
Okay, and that's because this motor generates its power at very high RPM. And the way to deal with that is to use gears and chains, which reduce the RPM and increase the torque while maintaining the same amount of power. What's really interesting is pound for pound, these little Astroflights have the same amount of power as the motors used in this much larger robot. Now, these same pancake motors that Whyatica use, 20 pounds, 12 horsepower, same power density. Ted, tell us a little bit about your robot here.
We originally wanted to build a 4-wheel bot, but weight only allowed us to put 3 on there. Yeah, these motors are very reliable.
Well, they're reliable and powerful, but it's almost impossible to design a robot with these motors because they're so hard to control.
Exactly. Yeah, they're very torquey. We can actually launch this thing up in the air if we wanted to.
All right, well, we're going to hope you avoid that in the Labyrinth. And that's the story in the pits, Amit. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. The name of the game is the Labyrinth, and it's 6 panes of glass guarded by 6 tough challenges. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. 15 points apiece for the box and the spikes, 20 for the bridge and the flip ramp, and 25 a pop for the sand and the steel rollers. Once all the glass is gone, it's off to this gate and an extra 30 for the guy who gets there first and breaks the glass. Let's go down to my man Dan, who enjoys ice cream. Dan, from what you've seen so far, which challenge will cause the most problems for these robots?
Amit, the floor design may be the difference in this event. Deb Bot has shown both incredible speed and amazing control, but she has a real design flaw that's going to hurt her in the Labyrinth. Her low ground clearance helped her rocket through the Gauntlet, but will make it impossible for her to get past the speed bumps. InTriVerter may have less control than Deb Bot, but he could make up for it with his large wheels that give him greater access to the obstacles in the Labyrinth. Back to you.
Dan, you rock. On the left is Deb Bot, driven by Jeff Vasquez, and on the right, Ted Shimoda's InTriVerter. Robotica is all about the Labyrinth. Let's do it.
Robots ready.
And the turntable's moving. No fighting action going on, and both bots out into the labyrinth.
Deb Bot's already having trouble with those speed bumps, Amit. She's too low to go over them.
Well, looks like she found a little hole to slip through. She's going after the spikes. InTriVerter heads through the saloon doors.
He doesn't have any sort of glass breaker, Amit. He wants to keep his robot by Modal.
Well, how's he going to break the glass then, man?
I really have no idea. I've been wondering that myself.
Oh, well, that's one way. InTriVerter flies through the air, crashes the glass for 20. That had to be a mistake, but wow, somehow it worked. That was sweet. Deb Bot past the spikes. Her arm just underneath the glass. Can't get it. Oh, looks like she's hooked on the rail there. That's no good.
Amit, InTriVerter's upside down right now, which means his controls are reversed, and he's driving backwards. It's the worst possible situation for Ted Shimoda. It's no wonder he's having trouble figuring it all out.
He's trying to work his way back out, and stymied by the ramp. He's caught underneath it. Bad place to be. Deb Bot's off the rail. Looks like her arm is just high enough to reach the glass. There it is. 15 points for her. 2 obstacles gone. She's timing her exit. Very well done. The rats are out. Deb Bot runs right into the gray rat. And InTriVerter still can't catch a break. Under the ramp again. This is brutal. Deb Bot's going after the box now. A couple of good hits. Still have to squeeze through. There's one advantage having a small bot 8-end.
Well, small is nice, but she has to be careful not to get caught on that rail again, Amit.
15 more points for Jeff Vasquez. The RC boat champ knows his way around a remote control, that's for sure. Deb Bot's on her way back out. 3 obstacles to go, and she's going to squeeze through that small gap she made. InTriVerter taking another crack at the ramp, and he's passed it finally, and right into the sand. Looks like he's going to go for the big points, but with no glass breaker and no ramp to help him, how's he going to do it now?
It's going to be a trick, Amit.
Oh, he bounces off the rail, tries to flip himself through the glass. That is insane.
Amit, every time he does that, he flips himself over and has to readjust his controls. He doesn't know which end is up.
He's still fighting to get into position. It's just painful to watch. What was he thinking, not having like a hook arm or something? Oh, he actually does it. He dislodges the glass. It's not broken, but that's good enough for 25 points. Nicely done. But now InTriVerter's in the sand. His wheels are just spinning, getting no traction whatsoever. And Deb Bot just sitting at the gate. The Red Rat's giving her the what for.
Amit, because of Deb Bot's low ground clearance, there are no obstacles left for her to get. Speed bumps block her way to the rollers, and that suspension bridge is a death trap. She has no choice but to wait for the siren and go after the final pain.
Dan, as you and I can clearly see InTriVerter digging himself a hole, it seems to be all that Ted Shimoda can do. He should have put a winch on the front of that robot. That would have been genius. Just spinning those tires, and there's the siren! Deb Bot's gonna take a crack at the gates. Oh, and immediately over and right through the glass. Jeff Vasquez has done it! Those final points should seal the win. Nice!
Amit, InTriVerter's bizarre decision to go without a glass breaker worked better than I would have guessed, but the simple approach proved the stronger one for Deb Bot in this difficult course.
And Deb Bot is moving on to the fight, to the finish. It's Deb Bot with 60 points over InTriVerter with 45. All right, let's check in with Tanya, who's down with the winner.
All right, Jeff Vasquez with Deb Bot. Great round of competition.
Thank you.
145 to 110. So was your strategy going into the Labyrinth just to go for low points? Is that what you were trying to do?
Yeah, basically there were only a few hazards that I could go for because of my ground clearance issues and the fact that my arm can't reach as tall as some of the pieces of glass. So I was limited, and I managed to hit what I aimed to.
And you had a hard time breaking the glass at times, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that my arm and some of the hazards just miss by a little bit, or they bend, that kind of thing.
And your robot is so fast. Was it hard to control at times?
It's very confined in there. Yeah, it is very quick for this size of course, but yeah, it's very quick.
Were you keeping track of InTriVerter's points as well?
Yeah, I was trying to just see where he was, and then once I broke my last hazard, I just was trying to guard my position, so I guard the gate so that you know, I could get through it first.
And you named Deb Bot after your wife,
my
if I'm
wife,
correct, right?
yes, I did.
You did.
That was a shrewd move on my part.
That's good. Well, that must make her feel good.
Absolutely.
Some brownie points. There.
Right.
Okay, well, great job.
Thank you.
We're going on to the fight to the finish.
Yeah.
All right, for Deb.
Thanks.
And that's all she wrote. It's Jav Man versus Deb Bot in an all-out battle for robot supremacy. We've got our 2 competitors for the fight to the finish. When we come back, we'll smack them around, get them nice and mad, and then we'll toss them into the ring and let them fight it out. Robotica will be back in nanoseconds. Coming up, Jav Man and Deb Bot face each other on the field of battle. The winner moves on to the Robotica finals, and the loser, well, no one really ever asked about the loser. Robotica will return. Welcome back to Robotica. We are moments away from the fight to the finish. This is it. This is where the buck stops and the sidewalk ends. An unimpressive run in the Gauntlet left Whyatica with big points to make up in the Labyrinth, but Jav Man proved to be the better bot in both events.
InTriVerter had big points to make up, but it wasn't to be. Deb Bot played it smart and safe, and she's moving on.
Despite conservative runs in the Labyrinth, both Jav Man and Deb Bot had battle scars to fix before the fight to the finish.
We found out the rats have teeth here.
Jav Man's repairs were largely superficial and were problems Greg Ferree had anticipated anyway.
Let's throw a couple more of the rubber cleats off, which is high-maintenance tracks. There's the only thing about them.
Deb Bot, however, had a much more serious concern.
We've got a bent lifting arm, bent and dented lifting arm. Right here, I think if I bend that back, it's going to break off.
Deb Bot gives up more than 110 pounds to Jav Man, so she needs every advantage she can get. If that arm is ineffective and it comes down to a pure pushing match, Jav Man should have the edge in the fight to the finish.
Our competition began with 4 rugged robots, and a pair of nasty events later, we're left with 2. But we can only send 1 to the Robotica Championship, and they'll have to battle it out to decide who's moving on and who's moving out. And we're going to do it with the fight to the finish, and here's how it works. 2 robots enter this elevated platform and battle it out for 1 minute. Then the gates drop, and the robot that doesn't end up sleeping in a bed of spikes moves on to the finals. Shake robotic hands and come out fighting. Jeff Vasquez and Greg Ferree have taken their positions in the skybox. 2 very different robot designs at battle here. There's Deb Bot, 91 pounds. She used her small size and incredible maneuverability to outscore InTriVerter and bring her here. And there's Jav Man. This tread design beast took on the powerful Whyatica and won. I couldn't be more excited for this competition right now, people. It's David versus Goliath for all the marbles. There go the bridges. There can be only one.
Robots ready.
We're underway, and Deb Bot's the aggressor under Jav Man and into the rail. Jav Man spins away, dodges another blow from Deb Bot, and moves towards the center, trying to line each other up as Deb Bot into the rail a 3rd time. And now Jav Man's on the offensive, pins Deb Bot against the wall. She breaks free and backs into Jav Man and hard into the corner. They're jostling side by side, both trying to get position. Jav Man with a push, he's off the rail, and Deb Bot gets underneath him. Pushes him off hard off the gate. Jav Man bounces free. Deb Bot backs away, looking for an angle. Bit of a standoff. Deb Bot charges. Yeah! Pushes Jav Man, stops short of the rail. The lifting arm comes up too late. Now Jav Man with a push. Deb Bot spins away. Oh, back and forth. Who is going to get the upper hand? Another clash. Jav Man spins off, and now they miss each other. Both drivers pulling every move they know, looking for a lucky break. This is awesome. And there go the gates. Jav Man in position. Deb Bot, he pulls free, charges in, hits Jav Man. He spins out off the side. Yes! Jav Man, he couldn't recover from the head. He's into the spikes. Jeff Vasquez, a thrilling victory. He celebrates with his teammates. There's a congratulatory handshake from his opponents. Jav Man fought hard, but the day belongs to Deb Bot.
All right, congratulations. Here you go. Good job.
Thank you.
Woo. Good job.
Ahmed, this battle was about control. The way these drivers kept hitting the wall, you got the feeling it might come down to one mistake. That final hit rattled Jav Man just enough, and he spun himself right off the edge.
With Jeff Vasquez and Team Fast Electric Robots, now that was some fancy driving up there, my friend. Jeff, were you nervous?
Very nervous. Very nervous.
Now, your robot is a smaller robot in comparison. Now, how did you keep it under control? Were you worried about the size?
No, it has a fantastic power-to-weight ratio. it's the lightest robot in the competition. It's very maneuverable, very drivable, and it's powerful for its weight. So I was really happy I was able to get under him and push him. He weighs over 100 pounds more than I do.
And you guys have a lifting arm, and what took so long for you guys to start using it? I mean, I personally saw it. You guys were underneath your opponent, and you could have used the arm to maybe lift him over the side, and what happened?
I didn't. His robot weighs over 200 pounds, and my arm is only rated for a certain amount, and I didn't want to take a chance on breaking it before the walls went down.
Now, who is this little guy right here? Who's your little team member?
This is my son, Matthew.
Nice to meet the both of you. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you in the finals. Goodbye, Matthew. Thanks a lot, you guys. All right, it's that time again. When we let our robots power down and recharge their power cells. But don't worry, we've got plenty more where this came from. Next time, 4 more robots. We'll put it all on the line for a chance at robot immortality. For Tanya Memmi, Dan Danknick, and myself, Amit Zappa, we'll see you next time. Robotica signing off.